What's up YouTube? Matt here and welcome to my fragrance obsession. In tonight's episode we are going to dwell into the German house of Joop. Now Joop, as you guys know, is a house that I really admire. In fact, they're well known for creating fragrances that are a little bit on the strong side, fragrances that people with strong tastes admire. Now yes, femme of course means feminine or lady or woman in French, and this is pretty much the female counterpart and the original Joop, which came out in 1987. And this fragrance is classified as an oriental floral. It was designed by perfumers Peter Schmidt and Michel Almerac, and of course it is a perfume. Well, it's a perfume because we call it a perfume. It is for women, of course, but it's actually an eau de toilette, and it tells you right here, eau de toilette. It's the same on that side. So I am going to show you guys the box in a second, but yeah, so it came out in 1987, and this is classified as a classic fragrance. Anybody who talks about the original Joop knows it as a classic. And there's no doubt about it. I mean, this has been out for a long time. In fact, next year, this fragrance will be hitting its 40th anniversary. That is insane. Just to know that the 80s were actually 40 years ago actually makes me want to cry. But let's not cry. The box of this fragrance may look pretty boring. It may not do justice on this camera, but in real life, it's sort of like it fades from blue all the way to black. You cannot actually, yeah, you can kind of tell there. It's like dark blue and then fades to black, kind of like a midnight sky, which I really like. It shows that it's quite a deep and dark perfume, which is exactly what this is. So the box says a lot about it. It's the same on the other side, apart from the only difference is it's got natural spray here in French, and of course, natural spray there in English. This is a 1.7 fluid ounce and a 50 ml. They did have 100 ml bottles there, but I thought I'll get the 50 ml in case I don't like it and such, you know. So I decided to get the 50 ml, and I paid £11 for this. £11. Cannot go wrong whatsoever. And apparently it was £35 because I did scratch off the price, and there was no way this was £35. It's not an expensive perfume. This is actually a very inexpensive scent, and there's just no way it was £35. Never, because online this even goes really cheap. You can get this size bottle online, I think, for about £15, and the bigger bottles go for like £20. So still, £20 for a perfume of this quality cannot go wrong. Now, let's get into the notes. In the top, we get aldehydes, bergamot, lemon, coriander, and neroli. In the middle notes, we get rose, jasmine, lily of the valley, and orange blossom. And in the base notes, we get sandalwood, cedarwood, civet, oak moss, patchouli, amber, musk, tonka bean, and vanilla. So yeah, there's a lot of base notes in this fragrance. In fact, there's a lot of notes throughout this whole scent, but the base note is jam-packed with different smells. Okay, so here's the bottle design. It doesn't really look like anything cool. Cap is actually the same as it is on Joop Night Flight, which is a fragrance for men, of course, from the house of Joop, which I do really like. And the cap is the same, apart from it's blue, and of course it's transparent on this. But yeah, there's pretty much nothing going on with this bottle design, apart from it's flat at the back here, and we get this sort of design here. That's the bottle design, and we also get Joop along here. That's all we get, and we do get information on the bottom, of course. You know, it's made by Coty Prestige, New York, and it's made in France. So that is it. Now, let's spray this stuff. Sprayer is absolutely incredible. It's very much the same as it is on all the other Joop fragrances. I would say it's mostly the same as the Joop Homme, the way it sprays. Excellent sprayer on this scent. Now, I'll put it there. Okay, now, first of all, I want to tell you guys about the first time I smelled this. Now, when I was in the store, there was a tester, and I sprayed it for the first time on my skin, and the first thing that came to my mind was how 80s this stuff actually smells. Like, you smell this and you think of, like, you go back in time to the 1980s. No joke. Like, whenever I smell this, I think of all those classic 80s movies that were released. You know, like Back to the Future, The Goonies, you know, Wall Street, all these classic movies, comedies, romance, you know, any movie that I can think of from the 80s, this just takes you back there. It's just got this rich 80s quality about it. So unlike any other perfume I've ever smelled. But I am going to go a little bit more into the smell. So here we go. Now, in terms of the notes, it opens up not as strong as you would imagine with the aldehydes, because aldehydes can be very strong in a fragrance in general. But I find that the aldehydes in this fragrance is not as strong as it is in a lot of other fragrances. This one is jam-packed with character. Just jam-packed with it. Like, right now, not as strong on the aldehydes, but I do get a bit of a citrus with this. Overall, quite exotic. It's got like an exotic, unique smell to it. I also get kind of like a smooth, kind of creamy smell, which I guess the citrus and the neroli combo does. Because we do also get vanilla in this scent, guys. That's in the base. But I think when you first smell this, you do get a creamy feel with it. And I guess the vanilla comes up into it. But overall, this is... It's so unique. It's an exotic smell. And I will mention one thing. Ouch 110, when he reviewed this fragrance, and he is so right with what he says. He said that this perfume smells like incense. He said that it reminds him of India, like Indian incense. I have to 100% agree. I think for him to detect that is amazing, because he's got a great nose on him, honestly. I smelled this in the store and I was like, incense. It just, yeah, it was there. Now, even though incense isn't actually listed, you do get it. You do get this Indian incense. Kind of reminds me more of a church incense. I used to do these sort of Christmas nativity plays with my school and college. You know, Christmas time used to do a few carols and stuff. And the church that we used to go in used to have candles, and used to have a few, you know, incense lit just to make this place smell festive, I guess. And it smells like that. It's got that church sort of interior smell, old-fashioned smell to it. Yeah, very, very similar, but all credit to Ouch 110 for getting that, honestly. So yeah, guys, in terms of the opening, this is just like, it's a strong fragrance overall, very floral. Not as strong on the aldehydes, like I said. We do get a little bit of citrus, kind of like a lemon and a royally combination, which smells really, really nice. And in terms of the middle notes, I find that this fragrance gets more floral. Gets a little bit more powdery as well. But in terms of the florals, it's mostly jasmine and orange blossom. I would say mostly jasmine, though. I find jasmine is a very exotic floral smell, so it does make a lot of sense with thinking it was exotic in the first place. But I think when the middle notes come in, I find that this fragrance smells very masculine. Now, I don't know if a man could pull this off from the first initial spray, but I think after, say, about an hour, the fragrance does actually smell quite nice. It doesn't smell feminine and it doesn't smell masculine. It kind of smells a little bit unisex, so a man could easily get away with it at that specific time. But I do enjoy wearing it for after about an hour, because it does get soft and a little bit floral, and it smells quite nice, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes, if you like the smell of a fragrance, you've got to forget about what it says on the box and just love what it smells like, you know? Just love what's in the bottle. That's exactly what I think most of the time. And in terms of the dry down, now the dry down is probably my favourite part for a lot of reasons. We get gorgeous woods, and I'm guessing that's the sandalwood and the cedarwood. We get this sort of dirty civet smell, and of course civet is very animalic. The animalic in this isn't that dirty. It kind of reminds me of a sort of damp oak moss. Kind of like a damp oak moss with a sort of fir needle smell to it. That's what it smells like to me. But it's kind of like a fir needle damp oak moss type smell. Couldn't even get the word right there. But yeah, very, very different. We do also get this lovely vanilla smell. And of course, like I said, the vanilla, you do get the vanilla quite easily in the start of the fragrance, but you do smell it, of course, much more in the dry down. It's like sweet vanilla wrapped around this sort of like warm tonka bean. Yeah. I don't really get much patchouli, and you would think you would, because, you know, patchouli is quite a dominant note. But I would say that the dry down smells more herbal than oriental. But it does smell very elegant, very rich smelling, and quite sweet. So if you're into your sweet sort of fragrances, this one does dry down to something quite sweet, but it is absolutely beautiful. I'm not kidding. Now, like I said, if you are into wearing any fragrance whatsoever, whether it's for men or for women, And say if you're like me and you just like something that smells good, this one is actually brilliant. Now you might be thinking, oh yeah, it looks like one of those perfumes where the juice looks like pee and it's probably going to smell like pee, and no, no. This is a great blended fragrance. Honestly, I don't think I've smelled a fragrance as nice as this. Like if you smell this, you would think that it comes from a really like expensive company. Joop are not expensive. In fact, it probably doesn't cost them a lot to even make this fragrance in the first place. But the fact that it smells great is excellent, and I would highly recommend checking out this fragrance. Honestly, it's really really nice. It's very different. If I ever wear it, like I'm gonna be honest, I'm not keen on the opening. But if I do ever spray it, it's like one spray, and after an hour, I do get little wafts of it, and I'm reminded of how good it smells. So, and I believe that's what this world is about. Like, you should do what you want, whether it smell good or whatever. And with me being into fragrances, as you guys know, I have so many women's fragrances as well. I mean, two very dominant ones: Lulu by Cacharel, Eden by Cacharel. I've even got Chanel No. 5 here. For God's sake. So, wear what you guys love. As my good friend Linnea Smith says, wear what you love and not what they say you should like. That's his words, not mine. He says it. So, yeah. And I would highly recommend you guys check this one out. It's a great smell. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. And please let me know what you think of Joop Femme in the comments below. If you have a bottle or if you know somebody who wears this fragrance, let me know what your thoughts are on this fragrance, and I will get back to you. Thanks so much for watching. Keep smelling good. Have a great, great day, night, morning, wherever you are in the world. Take care of yourselves. And bye-bye for now.